The chill of the night air brushed against my skin as I hurried along the dimly lit street. My footsteps echoed in the empty alleyways, and the distant hum of a car engine provided a faint sense of normalcy. I clutched my phone tightly, casting nervous glances over my shoulder, my heart pounding like a drum. It all began a week ago, a series of strange occurrences that had escalated into a nightmarish ordeal. The first sign was the anonymous letters, filled with unsettling details about my daily routine. Then came the eerie phone calls, heavy breathing and whispered threats that made my blood run cold. But the worst part was the feeling of being watched, the sensation that someone was always lurking just beyond my line of sight. I quickened my pace, my breath coming in short, panicked gasps. I had decided to take a different route home tonight, hoping to shake off the persistent feeling of being followed. My eyes darted around, scanning the shadows for any movement, any sign of my unseen pursuer. As I turned a corner, my heart leapt into my throat. A figure stood at the end of the street, partially concealed by darkness. A chill raced down my spine as I realized it was the silhouette of a person staring in my direction. My mind raced, and I made a split-second decision to dash into a nearby alleyway, seeking refuge in the maze of narrow passages. The sounds of my own ragged breathing filled the confined space as I pressed myself against the cold brick wall. Panic clawed at my chest, and I struggled to regain control of my thoughts. The seconds stretched into minutes, and the alley remained quiet, too quiet. I strained my ears, trying to discern any movement outside. Just as I began to convince myself that I had overreacted, a soft rustling reached my ears. My heart thundered in my chest as the sound grew louder, closer. Footsteps, deliberate and purposeful, echoed through the alley. I pressed my back harder against the wall, my breath catching in my throat. The footsteps grew nearer, and I could feel my pulse pounding in my temples. I fumbled with my phone, my trembling fingers dialing 911. The dispatcher's voice was a lifeline in the darkness, and I whispered my location, begging for help as tears welled up in my eyes. The footsteps stopped just outside the entrance of the alley. The darkness seemed to stretch and warp, as if the very fabric of reality was contorting. I held my breath, my grip on the phone tightening until my knuckles turned white. Then, a soft, eerie voice drifted through the air, like a whisper carried on the wind. "I know you're in there," it cooed, sending shivers down my spine. "There's nowhere to hide from me." I bit my lip to stifle a cry, my mind racing for a plan. The dispatcher's voice crackled through the phone, urging me to stay on the line, reassuring me that help was on the way. But the voice outside grew louder, closer, and I knew I couldn't stay hidden much longer. With a surge of desperation, I glanced around the alley, searching for any means of escape. My eyes settled on a fire escape ladder that led to the roof of a nearby building. It was a risky move, but I didn't have many options left. Taking a deep breath, I darted out of the alley and sprinted toward the fire escape. The ladder creaked as I climbed, each rung feeling like an eternity. My heart raced, and I didn't dare look down, fearing that the unseen pursuer would be right behind me. Finally, I reached the rooftop, my lungs burning from the effort. I huddled behind an air conditioning unit, my phone still clutched in my hand. The voice continued to taunt me from below, growing more agitated and frustrated. But I was safe for the moment, out of reach. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder with each passing second. The dispatcher's voice came through the phone, telling me that the police were close. Relief flooded through me, and tears of gratitude welled up in my eyes. As the police arrived and took control of the situation, I handed over my phone, sharing the details of my terrifying ordeal. In the days that followed, the police conducted a thorough investigation. They discovered evidence that pointed to a disturbed individual who had been fixated on me for reasons unknown. The relief of knowing that my tormentor was apprehended was overshadowed only by the lingering fear that the unseen pursuer had been watching me from the shadows all along. I couldn't shake the feeling that, even though they had been caught, the chilling whispers and unsettling sensation of being watched would never truly leave me. The experience had left scars that ran deeper than I could have ever anticipated, a constant reminder that danger could be lurking just out of sight, waiting for the right moment to strike again.